Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna see the deep analysis today, of course, for Bitcoin, what to expect for the next weeks and months, and of course, we're gonna dive in the 1 hour chart to see also today what it might be the possibilities. So we have in the cycles here, we have already 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 impulse towards the upside wave 4, not interfering with the zone 1. So it is a perfect impulse, of course, as a wave A or a wave 1 there. And we have after it, of course, an ABC, which is playing the role for a wave 2 or a wave B. And then the last bull run that we saw for Bitcoin in a form of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially finished over there, and we're still looking here for something as somehow corrective or sideways for Bitcoin. However, with this move here, this impulse where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this might be, of course, your wave 1. And you know, always in an impulse, we need a 1, a 2, always 3, 4, and a 5. So there is no escape from a wave 2 over there for Bitcoin. And the wave 2 normally is always, of course, hitting the fib levels between the 0.38, which is a minimum requirement for a wave 2, and of course below it, right? So if the minimum requirement here is a 0.38, therefore we are looking at least here on the linear chart even, or linear fib levels at 73k, where this 73k is in, I would say, very close to this very strong area support here for Bitcoin, which it might unfold an ABC expanding flat for wave 2, 0.38, and then moving toward the upside in a new bull run for wave 3. By all means, you are looking here at a wave 1 as an impulse, 5 waves, A, B, and a C, 3 waves, and then, of course, another 5 waves toward the upside, which it might reach, of course, the 200 and above, of course, 200k for Bitcoin here in a wave 3. And then looking, of course, for 4 and a 5. Because we need an impulse there, we need a very clear big impulse here to reply at least as an ABC here to this impulse already given. So if you have already here your wave A as a 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, your wave A given, you are in a wave B, therefore, even if we are looking for a wave C, you need those 5 waves impulses. And therefore, of course, we need a wave 2, and then, of course, to unfold a wave 3 toward the upside, toward the 200k and above it. So what I'm expecting for the next part here for this wave 2, since the bear market or the expanding flat has started exactly from there, we can see that the cycles are accelerating. So you have to consider right now that this is the top for Bitcoin here and not this one, because this one is your bear market very likely. So that means regarding the cycles here, we start, of course, to top even earlier, earlier than the previous one, where we see every cycle is accelerating in time, and we see that the price is accelerating even in price and in time. And that means, of course, this might be, of course, an accelerated bear market here. And we might finish exactly the bear market when the cycle finishes over there. And of course, we might start the cycle again, a new bull run directly in the beginning of the cycle, which it might ends up somehow in the middle of it, of the next one. Yeah, so somehow here in the middle, since this is our cycle there, this is our time, 40 years, and we might finish, of course, a bull run in 2 years, yeah, for the next time, which it might finish in the middle of it. Then having a wave 4 and a wave 5. So this cycle is gonna be kind of potentially even double impulses. Yeah, it might be a wave 3, 4, and a 5, double impulses, and maybe, of course, above the 200k, 300k, probably, yes, can be for the next cycle, guys. So, of course, right now, after this move, which is very clear expanding flat, showing, of course, a very high potential for a strong bull run. Next strong bull run is coming, and of course, because expanding flat express, of course, how much the market is unsatisfied only with this higher prices here, and therefore you got a wave B with the new high prices here as an expanding flat. And of course, after the aggressive wave C, we might see an aggressive move toward the upside again. So these are the possibilities on the all-time history for the next years and the next cycles, what I'm expecting and how it should work. And that's why we are looking for a wave 2 and a potential bear market, because we need it. There is no way to go there without, of course, getting to the 0.38 here in the linear chart, which is around the 70K for Bitcoin. So that was it for the parabolic. Let's move to the daily here. And for the daily, of course, as you know, this is our impulse that we were looking at in the latest bull run, where we have a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished over there. We have a wave 1, right, finished. And we see the price exiting the acceleration channel taken from the wave 2 here, and of course, based on the wave 3. And we see the price exiting the channel and entering the base channel. Now, when hitting the base channel again in the middle and moving toward the upside, well, that might means that your wave 5 might be extending. So if a wave 5 here is extending toward the upside, meaning if you have a triple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you still have a 4 and a 5 here, well, of course, preferably that the wave 5 has to leave, of course, the base channel again. By leaving the base channel, you will have to hit, of course, at least the lower part this time and not the middle one of the acceleration channel, which did not happen. And every time, of course, the price move towards the upper line here of this base channel, we see, of course, a weakness and a rejection 3 times. And the last time, even it couldn't reach the base channel, even, of course, a very strong signal of weakness, getting a fake out of this channel, corrective channel, and we're going back into it right now impulsively from there. And that means, of course, it is a weakness signal, and it might be, of course, a signal that you might have finished a wave B here as an expanding flat, and we're moving right now in a wave C, where you got your wave 1, and currently we are working on a wave 2 still. Meaning 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 2, and then starting a new bull run again. Now, in this channel here, what I would like to see for bullish, of course, that the price getting out of this corrective channel first. So that would be the first signal. If we get out of the corrective channel, as you can see, even the price has rejected from there, and we still, of course, ranging inside this corrective channel. So we're gonna see, of course, if the price gets out, okay, the things start to be again potentially bullish. Okay, there is still one more ultimate bullish scenario which it can be unfolding. I'm gonna show the count, of course, but it's a very, very big scenario, which is a new bull run from here. Yeah, so we're gonna see it. However, and that because, of course, we see again a reaction in the middle of the base channel. It can be, of course, a possibility here that we might still be ranging for something higher, but don't forget that this wave 1 is an impulse, meaning the direction of the market has changed right now. And if this is your wave 1, you're looking for 3 waves. So even if you break out, it's not 100% confirmation that we're moving in bullish here. It might be simply 3 waves again for a wave 2, and then dropping down, of course, for a wave 3 continuation for the bear market in an expanding flat wave C. So the count for the bullish here, which is an ultimate bullish scenario that it might be unfolding here, is the following. If you have a potential 1, 2, a big wave 1, 2 here, we got another 1, 2. Let's say this is an impulse, knowing I don't like it so much as an impulse. It doesn't look really impulsive, but let's say it is an impulse 1, 2, 1, 2, and you have an ABC expanding flat. You have an A, B, and of course this impulse might be your wave C as an expanding flat in a wave 1, ABC wave 2, and then you might move toward the upside here, and especially that the price has rejected the 0.786, which is the most common target for wave 2 based, of course, on this wave 1. And that means, of course, this 1, 2 is not yet invalidated. And of course, a signal of price action has been given there, but the problem on the micro level, there is no good answer for this because this looks like a W, X, and a Y. We're going to see it, of course, internally when we come to the micro level. Now, the bearish scenario, I don't have to explain it again so much, but here is the count where you have a W, X, and a Y, because this looks like a double zigzag with an X in between, which is looking perfect as as something complex structure here, meaning three waves, and then you have another three waves for wave Y here. And that means, of course, with the wave Y, you have finished a wave B here, and you got, of course, the perfect fib level for a wave B in an expanding flat, rejecting from there exactly at 1.38, taken from the wave A to the B to the C. So very, very likely that this scenario is unfolding so far until, of course, some signal will be given on the micro level. Now, on the micro level, if we move inside it on the 2 hours chart here, this is what I'm talking about, that why we cannot really say that we are really bullish, and that because, of course, of the answer given already in this zone area here, once you get the low, which is potentially a wave 1 after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because, of course, this looks like a very corrective pattern, which is, of course, something complex here, unless, of course, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, expanding diagonal wave 1, 2, well, the most rare case scenario. The most rare case scenario, so we cannot give it a very high possibility here. This is the thing. For expanding diagonal. Very likely to be, of course, a W, X, and a Y, and then, of course, we saw the drop. Now, after this, we start to see something moving for higher again. Now, this move toward the upside again, it looks like you took the low there, and you have kind of like a 1, 2. Let's say this is your wave 3, 4, and a 5. Well, if this wave 5 is still unfolding, and of course, as this wave 3 is longer than wave 1, so you cannot consider it as, of course, a diagonal here. Therefore, something else is unfolding there. Yeah. What you can consider as diagonal here is potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. And you might have an ABC expanding flat for a wave 2 again, and then moving toward the upside, of course, in a wave 3. So if this happens here, that you might be, of course, in a potential wave 1 over there, and this is your wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And let's say this is a kind of like an A, B, and a C expanding flat. A, B, and a C here, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, and a C, and then we move toward the upside. So this can be possible. We cannot consider this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because your wave 4 interfered internally here. So definitely this is your correction, with a deep correction, of course. And then we move toward the upside potentially in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, if this happens, well, it's not yet very bullish, of course. It might be simply moving for higher prices here in this yellow scenario for the bullish. So basically, if you are in a wave 1, ABC wave 2, and then we're looking for a wave 3, 4, and a 5, don't forget we have another testing area here for a potential wave 2. Yeah, so the wave 2, which it can be this one, right, still can be finished over there. And that doesn't, of course, eliminate the possibility of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expanding flat wave C, which is a bearish scenario or bear market here, that it might still unfolding. Meaning, the bear market to be eliminated, we need to see higher prices to eliminate, of course, all those fib levels. At least taking the 886 to reduce so much the possibility, meaning reducing it to 90%. Yeah, to 90%, meaning leaving 10% for bearish market, which is 123K for Bitcoin. And that means, of course, if we are here in a potential leading diagonal wave 2, and then we 3, 4, and a 5, don't forget in confluence, you might get the 1-to-1 fib level here as a regular flat, because this is considered W, X, and Y 3 waves. So you might have a regular flat in confluence exactly in this area. And yeah, so the things are starting to get a little bit much more clearer here for Bitcoin, where we might heading in case we see higher prices, as an impulse internally also to be much more precise even. Here we go. You got the 1.618 exactly over there as well. So yeah, all the fib levels are pointing at the 117K 500. In case, of course, we get a 1, 2, 3, I would say 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. And this, of course, might finish a wave 2, guys. Still, of course, can be a wave 2. Now, if we see this broken toward the upside, taking the 886 here, therefore, yes, we can be very likely in a something very bullish, which is, of course, the ultimate bullish scenario that it can be unfolding over there that I just showed, of course, on the daily here, which is this one. Yeah, the ultimate bullish can be, of course, another double 1-2 here. So you have 1-2, 1-2, and we move for higher after a large 1-2. So very, very bullish scenario that it might transform this, by the way, later on, rather than a wave 5, it can transform to 1-2, 1-2, wave 3, and then 4-5, 4-5, even for Bitcoin to reach, of course, the 500,000. Yeah, so for Bitcoin as a potential next cycles, I would say, not just one cycle, next cycles. Yep, so that was it for Bitcoin, the deep analysis. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.